I'm Dr. Reese, and today I want to talk a little bit about anxiety. I think that we're all feeling a little bit of anxiety right now. This is a time when our entire country is going through something called COVID-19, which is another way of saying that we are all, as a country, experiencing a medical trauma. Now, trauma, very simply, takes away our feelings of safety and security. And so for many of us, we are experiencing that by not feeling safe in public places and around other people. And our feelings of security in those places, our feelings of security with our livelihood. Many have lost jobs. Our children are no longer attending school and buildings. So our routines have been disrupted. The way of life that we're used to has been impacted. And we have lost our feelings of safety and security. Now, when this happens, it's important to recognize that our body and our mind are going to respond in certain ways. We are most likely going to respond with some anxiety because anxiety and trauma are closely linked. Now, when we're feeling anxious, when we're feeling afraid, when we're feeling worried, we have something in our brain called an alert system. That alert system goes off to tell us that this doesn't feel safe. This is not a good thing. Something bad could happen here. When that alert system sends that signal, a couple of things happens within our body. So anxiety is not only a feeling. It is a feeling, but it's not only a feeling. It is also a biological reaction that happens within our body. So the first thing that happens is that alert system sends a message to our pituitary gland to release cortisol. And that cortisol can make our brain feel a little fuzzy. Like it's hard to stay organized, to remember things, to make good decisions. We may be feeling a little confused or dazed all the time. I am calling this our COVID cortisol coma that is continuing. And I think that for a lot of us, we have been experiencing this for many, many, many months. And we are just feeling like it's our new normal. But please rest assured, one day when all of this is over, and it will be over one day, we're going to start to feel like our old selves again. But that's the reason why a lot of us are having a hard time with those things. Now, the other thing that happens with our alert system is that it signals the adrenal gland to release adrenaline. When adrenaline is released into our body, it does a couple of things. First of all, it causes us to have energy and makes us need to move. It increases our heart rate, which as a result raises our blood pressure. So we start to feel hot or flushed. It constricts our lungs so that we might have a hard time breathing. It tightens our muscles so that we're feeling a little uncomfortable. And it can give us a stomach ache or a headache. Now, these are all typical anxiety symptoms, and they're all fueled by adrenaline. Now, adrenaline makes possible the typical fear responses of fight, flight, and freeze. So a lot of us right now are feeling like we're in fight mode. We want restrictions to end, and we want to get back out there to our lives, and we are going to fight for that ability. Some of us are in flight mode. So we are staying in our houses. We don't want to interact. We don't want to be around other people. We are protecting ourselves. And then there are some who are in freeze mode who are not sure what to do. These three responses are typical fear responses, and we're all responding with them right now. Now, something else that happens when we're experiencing a trauma is something called containment. So in containment, it's kind of like a box with a lid on it, where we're putting all of our emotions because we don't have the time right now to deal with them. This happens when we're living in crisis mode or survival mode, when we're saying, let's just get through this. Just do what you have to do, right, to get through this. What we're doing is we are kind of stuffing our emotions at the moment because we don't have the time to deal with them. Now, please rest assured, we all have feelings about this. Our high school seniors for spring of 2020 have feelings about the fact that their graduation was not like any other. If you have lost a job, you have feelings about that. If you have lost a loved one, you have feelings about that too. So when we're going through something that's really hard, we tend to contain our emotions. We have them. We have lots of emotions. We have really big emotions. But we don't have the time right now to deal with them because we're surviving. So we stuff those emotions into our box. And what happens is when we get to the other side of the crisis, when we have survived, one day when all of this is over, whether it is a month from now or 3 months from now or 6 months from now or a year from now, who knows? We don't have control over that. But when we get to the other side of this crisis and our life returns back to normal, well, this lid is going to fly off because now we have time to think about and process these things. And we are most likely going to feel flooded by what we have just experienced, by the hard time that we all just survived. It's going to be really important when this is all over that we are prepared to take care of our feelings and those of our loved ones. If you have children, they're going to be flooded too. So have grace for yourselves and for each other, because we're most likely all containing a lot of really big emotions that will be flooding us when we get back to a normal place. What can help with that right now is when that container is holding our emotions, don't just contain until this is over. Take the lid off each day, even if it's for 20 minutes, and just allow yourself to feel what today was like. Allow yourself to go to that sad place. Allow yourself to go to that frustrated place. Don't stay there. Don't camp out there. Go there. Feel those feelings because they're important and there's a really good reason why you're experiencing them. And then use a coping skill or a calm down skill to calm those feelings. It might look like taking 20 minutes a day to write in a journal about how you are feeling right now, to just release those emotions, to give them some validation. And then after you've done your 20 minutes of journaling, move to taking care of those emotions. So move to taking a walk outside, move to a bubble bath, move to watching your favorite TV show that makes you laugh out loud for a half hour. So by doing that every single day, we will be slowly releasing the emotions that we've been containing instead of waiting until all of this is over and having the lid fly off and being flooded by really big feelings. Now, the other thing that we can do is we can combat that cortisol coma by drinking lots of water, by getting really good sleep, by making sure that we are eating healthy and taking care of our body. For our adrenaline, we want to use it. We need to burn it. Adrenaline does not dissipate. It doesn't just go away. You have to actually use it so that it will burn off. Any kind of physical activity will do. Yoga, Pilates, aerobics, going for a run or a walk or a bike ride. Any kind of physical activity will help to burn that adrenaline so that it is not continuing to course through you. Now, our alert system has been going off for many, many months now, alerting us that we don't feel safe, alerting us that this is not a good thing. And what can happen when that alert system is engaged over and over and over and over and over again in a crisis situation is that it can begin to become overactive or hyperactive. It can become hypervigilant, where it is going off even when we are safe. So we will start to feel safe, or we'll start to feel unsafe even in safe situations. When that happens, we can use positive self-talk to help to calm that alert system. So when that alert system is going off and saying, you're not safe, this is not a good thing. Let's say you are at home, you're watching TV in the evening, and you're starting to feel anxious about this medical trauma that we're all experiencing, about loved ones, about your job, and your alert system is firing like crazy. In that moment, you can use some positive self-talk, talk to that alert system and say, now listen, it is overfiring because it's doing its job. Its job is to keep you safe and to protect you. And it's doing a good job. But because it's been going off so much, it has gotten a little overactive. So what we can say is, I'm okay. We can actually use self-talk. We can boss our brain. And when you boss your brain, you're going to say, I've got this. I'm okay. I'm safe right now. When we do that, you can even say, thank you, alert system, I'm okay. Right? Thank it for doing its job, but then let it know that it can go off duty because you've got this. When we do that, when we practice that self-talk, then our alert system will start to quiet. And when that happens, we're going to experience less anxiety and more peace. So try that today when you start to feel anxious about everything that is going on around you, especially the things that you have no control over. Make sure that you're safe, and then tell yourself you're safe. Boss your brain and help it to calm down, because that's how you can have control over those uncontrollable thoughts. You can control them. You can quiet them. Just because they pop up does not mean that you have to invite them to stay. You can tell them, thank you very much, but I've got this. I'm okay. We're going to be all right. And quiet that alert system. This is how we're all going to get through this really hard time that everybody is experiencing right now. I hope this has been helpful. Have a great day.